Welcome to Popping Culture, episode 14. I'm Jay.
I'm Adrian.
We're coming to you on a special day this week, although I don't know that you will know that. It depends on when I edit this.
To be fair, happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, depending on when you see this.
Yeah. We're here a little earlier this week because
I'm traveling for the holidays.
You're going to be a snowbird.
Oh my goodness,
Ooh.
I'm going to go and just curl up with all the other blue hairs. Gray hairs, what are they called? Gray hairs?
Old people.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys. Since you are flying out on the day that we normally record.
I am.
We're here a little early, and that means this is going to be a little bit different episode.
It is. It's Monday, which means...
No new comics have come out since the last time we talked to you guys.
It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, I saw you, and the first question I was going to ask you is, like, what are you reading this week? And I'm like, someone else is here. We'll talk about something else.
Right? Yeah. So, this week we're going to be talking about what?
About what? We are going to be discussing... Well, actually, it's funny because we were going to discuss two different things.
Right.
I'm not sure which one we agreed on.
That's why I kind of posed that question to you. I was going to let you throw that out there.
Depending on where our conversation takes us, we'll either be talking about A, comics that are on our pull list we're ready to cancel and why, or B, particular story arcs that kind of meant something to us and what it meant and why. So depending on where the conversation goes, we may hit one, we may hit both. Depends.
Right. We may talk about something totally different.
That is entirely possible. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed, I have my hairstyle different today, so maybe we'll just talk about my hair. My hair did.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right.
I decided to put what they call product in it today.
Yeah. What product did you put in there? It's
a black thing with orange sticker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's the one.
Mine's a silver thing with a black and yellow sticker.
Clearly, we buy our own things. I don't buy my own hair stuff, but I do buy
What's that?
my own beer.
There you go. And you even bought yourself a new bottle this week.
I did acquire a new growler this week. Something happened in my last one.
It did. Yeah, something happened to your last one.
So I got a new one.
There you go.
And we're drinking a gingerbread porter by Bison Brewing. I apologize, I don't remember where Bison's from.
I would think maybe Midwest, somewhere where there was bison. I could be wrong. Maybe Montana.
I was thinking it because the name Montana, but I don't know. You will notice we are drinking out of pint glasses today. Glass, so that way you can actually probably see the color and the cool logos on them.
Dark is the color. Again, this is another porter. Last week we had the vanilla infused porter. This week we're going gingerbread. You've had this before. I have not.
I had it in bottle, and in the bottle it was okay. But like most beers, generally a little bit better out of the draft than they are in bottles.
Okay.
So I'm hoping for an improvement. Why don't we give it a shot and we'll see the difference.
What say you?
This may possibly be a first for me.
Better in the bottle?
Yes.
Yeah. This is real gingerbready. It's got a very, very heavy ginger spice to it.
It does. And so the bottle version, it was like I was drinking a gingerbread cookie,
Okay.
molasses, and then afterwards, the aftertaste of a porter.
Okay.
This one, I don't have any aftertaste.
No.
It is just gingerbread and molasses.
I would not know that this was a porter at all if I hadn't read it on the menu. Huh.
Yeah. It is... I want to call it a gingerbread beer, but it is also kind of a pumpkin-y beer. Just because of the spices are very similar. The nutmeg,
it definitely reminds me of
ginger.
some of the pumpkin porter and things like that we had a month ago.
I'll drink it.
Yeah, well, it's in front of me. I'll drink it.
There you go.
Unlike somebody with the chili cider who refused to drink it.
I didn't refuse to drink it for me. I just wanted you to have more, buddy. I did it for you.
See, and if you had not allowed me to have all of that chili cider, you would still have your other growler.
Oh, I feel like a story's coming.
I don't... Well, okay.
Yeah, it is. She doesn't watch this anyways.
No.
And I find it to be hilarious.
Okay. And it's not...
No.
It's a story of somebody who doesn't know about growlers.
To be honest, when you told me about it, I thought it was very endearing.
Right. Yeah. So I mentioned on the episode last week that I had taken home what was left of the chili cider
You sure did.
in your mini growler that we had it in.
As Annie calls them, the baby growlers.
Right. So I had finished it, and then I actually forgot to bring it back last week. So I was going to bring it back this week. And I was sitting yesterday, and I got to thinking, I'm like, I left that on the kitchen counter when I was done with that. I rinsed it out, left it on the kitchen counter. I don't remember seeing it on the kitchen counter anymore. So before I had it over here tonight, I asked my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, you remember that dark bottle that was on the counter that I had finished off that cider in? Do you know where that's at? And she got a look on her face like, yes, I do know where that's at. I'm like, did you toss that? She's like, yeah, you said that Adrian didn't like that one, so I didn't.
That's true.
You were done with it. I tossed the bottle. I'm like, these are actually reusable bottles. You take it to the bar and they fill it up, and you drink it, and you bring it back, and you get it filled up. So, so your growler is
It's okay.
in a recycling plant somewhere.
You know what? I would be irritated if they weren't so inexpensive.
Right.
Like they have growlers ranging from $4 up to $35.
Right,
to
for the
$40,
stainless steel.
which is pretty cool, but I don't want it.
Right.
Although I do feel like what she did is a Seattle faux pas.
Recycling.
No,
Oh.
because Seattle is so full of reuse kind of people and mentality that just went against all the Seattleites.
It did and it didn't.
She recycled it.
Yeah, so it got recycled. So that's definitely a thing we do here is recycle. But we didn't reuse it.
You know what? I just kind of thought, Jay and I want to make our own beer glasses out of old beer bottles.
Right.
Do you think we could do it out of this growler one and just have the greatest beer glass ever?
Oh, I'm sure we could.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to buy a couple more of those and try it then.
There you go.
All right. No, it was very endearing. It was, you know what? It's...
Yeah, I can't fault her for it.
You can't fault her for it.
It's a glass bottle. That's what you do with glass bottles. You recycle them. So now you got a shiny new bottle.
I do have a new bottle, and it will be filled with much beer. So let's go ahead and get on with everything we got here.
Okay.
TV. I know we haven't... It hasn't been as long as it usually has been since we've seen each other. So have you caught up on any television?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Literally, the only thing I'm caught up on is Walking Dead. I watched that last night.
Okay, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I want to talk to somebody about Walking Dead.
Okay.
I have seen the first 3 episodes, and that is it.
Okay.
I know you love Sands of Anarchy, and
I actually even love Sons of Anarchy.
that's what I said.
Close.
You know what? English wasn't my first language, and I don't appreciate you bringing that up in front of other people.
Okay, sorry.
That is a not in front of guests discussion.
Right, sorry.
Sorry, guys. So Walking Dead, I couldn't get into it.
Right.
It was just really slow for me.
It is. It goes through these waves where it's a lot of, okay, you're kind of seeing them survive, like exist, whatever, and you're seeing how they interact as a group, and that'll be an episode, and then there will be an episode where, oh, there's this big bad that's coming to kill everybody, and it's like this crazy fight scene, and everybody's like fighting for their lives, and then it'll go into another lull. And I think it's one of those things where it's like, it's trying to make you, it puts you in this false insecurity when they go into the lull. It's like, oh, okay, maybe things are calming down, and then all of a sudden shit goes crazy.
So the reason I ask is because you've talked about the comic book, which gets really boring and repetitive after 100 and some issues. I feel like I keep reading the same shit every single time.
They've been walking around Georgia for 10 years.
So what's the show like in retrospect, looking at comparatively to the comic?
So I to be fair, I haven't read the comic. I've read the very first issue, and that's it.
Oh, wow.
I hear a lot of reviews of it, so I kind of get an idea of what's going on.
Okay.
I know how a lot of the major differences between the comic and the show and that sort of thing. But I think with the show, they have the benefit of it's a visually interactive. It's not you reading pages, so they can do a lot of things in the show in the background that you don't necessarily have to sit there and read for 8 pages. You see things happening, so it progresses much more quickly.
Okay.
We're on the 5th season now. They've covered more time in the last 4.5 years than they have.
Because I know the show no longer follows the same continuum
No.
as it is
diverged.
weird.
Yeah, I mean, there's characters on the show. Daryl was never even in the comic, and he's
Right.
one of the main characters in the show. There are characters on the show now who have died in the comic, and there's characters who are still alive in the comic that are not even on the show. So,
Okay.
so there's quite a bit of divergence, and obviously you have to do things a little bit differently for a TV show than a comic.
Yeah, because things will, like you said, look different, feel different. Now, Sons is ending at the end of season 7.
We've got like 2 episodes left.
So when that's done, I'm going for an epic binge.
Do it.
Like, I'm going to do it. Would you recommend the same type of binge for Walking Dead, or can I kind of pass on that one? Because I'm leaning towards pass on that one. I just want someone to tell me what I want to hear.
I think it's one of those things where, so like the first season of Walking Dead, you've watched half of it because there's only 6 episodes.
Right.
I would say Walking Dead is more of the type of thing where if you're going to be catching up on it, there's really no reason to binge all the way up to current. Watch, the first season and then go do some other stuff. Come back and watch a couple. It's one of those things where I don't think it's, with Sons, it's like all out action all the time.
Okay.
With Walking Dead, like I said, it's peaks and valleys. So, I mean, you can watch through like the end of this major struggle and then come back later.
That is not a glowing recommendation for me to want to watch it.
No.
That's good. I didn't want to add it to my queue anyways.
There you go.
I have caught up on a couple of TV shows. I'm 1 episode behind on Constantine. We didn't get through too much.
Now, did you hear the news about Constantine today?
Yes, I did hear the news. Why don't you tell our fans about it?
So they made an announcement. I believe it was today that they made it.
I heard it this morning.
I heard it this morning also. The first season will be 13 episodes. That's done. They're going to do the 13 episodes. What they are not doing is renewing it for a second season yet. Now, that doesn't mean there won't be a second season. It just means that they don't know when that will be. They don't know if it's going to be renewed for fall next year or if they're going to make it like a mid-season show or whatever. If you're only doing 13 episodes, you don't have to start in fall, because if you start in fall for 13 episodes, you're done in December. So it could be a mid-season show. It could end up come back the following summer. They have a lot of, if they're going to keep with 13 episode season, they have a lot more flexibility there. But what they haven't done is commit to when that second season will be.
So I read something different.
Okay. What did you read?
So what I read was they have 13 episodes in the can, in that it was going to be extended originally for a full season, and they decided not even to extend it.
Yeah. So they're capping it at a 13 episode season.
So like where you have The Flash, which was the same thing, and it's already been extended for the full season, Constantine has not been extended for that full season, and they're crediting it to the late start that it got. That by the time it came out, people had already gotten into their new fall season TV show. They didn't want to add in another show.
But see, I have an issue with that, because it was only 2 weeks after Arrow and Flash.
I'm not saying it's a great argument. I'm saying that's their argument.
Right.
I enjoy Constantine. This newest episode 4 wasn't as good as the others, but I still enjoyed it because I feel like it showed Constantine the way I read him in the comic books.
Okay.
He's not a good guy. Being his friend is a bad idea, and he will screw you over for a greater good.
Okay.
And in this case, he did just that. So what had happened was a mate of his had come from Newcastle when Astra, the young girl, died from the pilot.
Yeah.
Lost his shit, was a junkie, went to Sudan. In Sudan, as he was high, he saw somebody who had scars, a containment ritual done on his face. So he was possessed. A shaman knew that he was possessed, did the ritual on him to keep the demon inside this guy.
Okay.
So he decided, while high on heroin, to perform an exorcism, and he contained the demon inside a bottle. Well, eventually, the bottle released the demon, and all hell broke loose, and Constantine had to clean up the mess.
Okay.
Constantine find out the only way you can actually stop this demon is to contain it within a person, because it was a hunger demon. It had to constantly eat. Seal it inside that person, it would eat the person away, and then the demon would die as the person died.
Oh.
So what his buddy did by the exorcism was actually releasing the demon as it was dying along with this guy. Not a good thing, he did a bad thing.
Right.
So John manipulated him into coming with him to stop this demon, not telling him what was going to happen, put it in the guy who did the exorcism and sealed him up and stayed with him while he died. So on the one hand, you have Constantine who, yes, that is a greater good. Because this demon already, after being released in the States, killed like 13 or 14 people. On the downside, sacrificed this guy originally not knowingly, but then the guy figured it out, and he's like, I want you to do it anyways. I've wasted my life on drugs. Astra could have been helped if I wasn't stoned out of my mind. Like, I want my life to mean something. But it wasn't his decision. John was going to do it one way or another.
Right.
So it shows Constantine for kind of who he was. It happened, actually, if you read the current DCNU version of Constantine, something very similar happened in the second issue, where he sacrificed his friend knowingly for the greater good and just didn't tell his friend that that's what was going to happen, because then his friend might say no.
Right.
So it's that old Star Trek saying, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Right. So I've only gotten through the second episode of that series, so I'm 2 episodes behind.
Okay. Episode 2 and 3 was pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I liked 2. I think I liked 2 better than 1.
Absolutely.
The one with the mining town.
Yeah. That was really well done.
Right. So.
And why I don't trust gypsies.
Yeah. No, they're a bad lot.
I said it this morning at the gym. I'll say it now. I don't trust gypsies. Oh yeah, that conversation came up at the gym.
Okay. If you're gonna have that conversation, it's gonna be at the gym.
We were doing Romanian deadlifts. I'm not going to do a deadlift created by a gypsy. No, thank you.
No.
Next thing I know, I won't have a soul.
Oh.
Too late, sold that one.
Okay. Did you at least get a nice donut out of it?
Yeah, but now automatic doors don't work for me.
Oh.
Yeah. Simpsons was right.
Yes.
I know I watched more TV. Did a huge 2-week binge on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm fully caught up on the show.
Okay.
Jess had never seen it.
Okay.
She loves it.
Yeah.
So we binged and got her all the way caught up.
Okay.
Have you seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I have not.
Why not?
I like Andy Samberg. I think he's funny. I don't think I can appreciate him in a sitcom role, though.
I was the exact opposite. I refuse to watch it because I hate him. I don't think he's funny. I don't like the Lonely Island Boys. I don't like any of his songs. I don't like how everyone repeat. I don't like him.
Okay.
I had no desire to watch that show.
Have you seen Hot Rod?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right.
So I don't like him. So I refuse to watch the show because I don't like him. Right?
Okay.
And finally, my old roommate's like, just seriously, it's not what you think. You need to watch it. So then I watched the whole first season in like a month or 2. I really enjoyed it. Season 2 has been really good.
Okay.
So I'm very fortunate that I was convinced into watching it because my disdain for him didn't affect me. I liked the show enough, and I liked his character enough that I continued going. Him alone, the show would be horrible. It's all about the supporting cast that makes that show great.
Okay.
So I would recommend it. Like, just try it. First 2 episodes.
All right.
If you don't like those, you're not going to like the rest of the show. Okay,
because
it is pretty much all the same.
That's the litmus test.
That is it. That is it. I would like to say, oh, it really gets a lot better. You have to develop with it. Nope. It is what it is from the get-go. So we watched that. I've watched a lot more F-Word.
Right.
It's getting weird, man.
Yeah.
So remember how the first season they had the turkeys?
Right.
And then they killed the turkeys and ate the turkeys.
Yeah.
Season 2 is pigs. So they got piglets. And they've now raised these piglets. Next week, the piglets going for slaughter.
So next season, is it going to be like cows?
I don't know what season 3 is going to be. Like, what else does he fit in his backyard? A fucking dragon? Like, how much room does he have? So to be fair, his flat, I guess it's not a flat, it's a house. I don't know. There's a lot of British terms I just don't.
Flat's an apartment.
Okay, so it's a house.
Yeah.
Backyard's not as big as you would think for someone as wealthy as Gordon Ramsay.
Property sizes are much smaller over there.
They're crazy small. Watching this show, like, we'll go into people's houses, like, their kitchen is the size of my office, and it is not a spacious office.
No.
And they have, like one person had, like, DVDs in their kitchen cupboards. They didn't have enough room in their living room. I'm like, what the
And
move to the States.
And everybody's got the dorm fridge.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
And I read about that. It's because in the States, we refrigerate so many things that they don't refrigerate there. Like, they don't refrigerate ketchup. Which makes sense. Because if you leave your ketchup out on the counter, it's not going to go bad. It's like a third vinegar.
Sure.
People just like it cold.
But they do, whereas we refrigerate a lot more stuff and we refrigerate things we shouldn't, like onions should not be refrigerated. No. Potatoes should not be refrigerated. They also don't refrigerate their beer, which I'm not okay with.
No, that's wrong.
But they live off of frozen meals.
Yeah.
Like, it is ridiculous. They have the small dorm room fridges, but those, boom, huge freezers. Anyways, so it's really shocking. The funny part is season 1, the kids got attached to the turkeys.
Right.
Season 2, only Gordon and his son Jake are attached to him.
Really?
The girls were like, we know what's going to happen. We're cool with it.
We've seen this. We know.
Right. In season 2, like he goes out and he sees Jake, one of his boys, I think his only boy, sleeping with the pig. Like in the mud. You're just like, what in the what? And like, so like, so, but this time like Gordon's getting really attached to the pigs.
Right.
So he's like honest. He's like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't want to do this. It does have me contemplating though, changing the way I eat meat.
Okay.
They showed some footage that I was very surprised and shocked by. So the woman who we got the pigs from is a huge advocate for free range, farm raised animals. Me, being a bastard, don't care. I just,
because you're thinking, I don't care how they treat the animals as long as I get my sausage.
More than just the sausage, I don't want to pay the extra $2.50, $3 a pound.
Yep.
I made a roast for dinner last night. The roast alone was already $17, and I got it on sale. If I got the free range one, it was going to be $28.
Yeah.
That's an extra $11. Yep. And granted, the roast was enough for 4 meals, but still, marron, that's too much money. So, they showed something, and I'm all like, I don't want to watch this, damn it. And I ended up watching it, and I'm all like, I might go farm raised and just pay the money for it.
Yeah.
So they showed the confinement of livestock.
Yeah.
And they showed what they do to them. Have you ever seen what they do to them?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, the pigs do not have enough room to actually turn around. Nope. They show them castrating the piglets, and they don't even put them under.
No.
Like,
just done.
Yeah, like, and they show the footage on the effort of him picking up this piglet, cutting its tail while it's talking, because apparently if they don't get enough room to roam, they eat each other's tail as a coping mechanism. So they cut off the tails, and he's holding this piglet while it's screaming from losing its tail, and like cuts its nuts off. And you see him just popping them out, spraying it with antiseptic, and back in the pen. I'm all like, oh.
No, we went through a phase where we were watching a lot of those documentaries like Food Inc. and Knives Over Forks and all of those things that are very pro free range stuff like that. And you see some of that footage, and you're like the chicken houses where you've got the base layer, and then you've got chickens, and it's like 6 inches is the next layer, and they're stacked,
the chickens,
stacked,
yep.
And they're all just shitting all over each other. And
no, I agree. But then what's the resolution?
Free range is really the only way that you go around that. But even that, it's not.
So here's the thing I learned about free range. To be considered free range, the animals get an option. They're not forced outside. They are allowed to go outside 1 hour a day. That is it.
That's the bare minimum to qualify for free range.
And that counts as free range.
Yeah.
So that's still not really a freaking improvement.
No. And there is things that above free range that give them more, but that's even more rare. And then that you have to pay even more for, because now it's not, hey, I can fit 1,200 chickens in this one coop.
Right.
Now it's, I have this acre, I have 50 chickens, and I have to charge more to be able to support 50 chickens as opposed to 1,200 all making me money.
No, I get it. Like, I went to Costco. I got a rotisserie chicken for $5 because it's cheap and super good. But let's not kid ourselves. That chicken probably never saw daylight.
Oh, no.
Because it was only a $5 chicken at Costco.
Right.
No hormones.
Right. So anyway, that was the F Word. You been watching anything else?
Been watching the F Word, huge Brooklyn Nine-Nine binge. I'm all caught up in all my romantic comedies like A to Z, Marry Me, all those kinds of shows, but I enjoy them, but reviewing them every week is like, meh, yeah. You get it. It's the exact same thing with a different circumstance. Yeah. Watch the show. I saw a couple movies this weekend.
All right, what did you see?
I saw, I remember the exact title, The Hunger Games, The Mockingjay, because I always say The Mockingbird, The Mockingjay, Part 1. And I watched Big Hero 6.
Okay.
Let's talk about Big Hero 6 first.
Start with the better one?
Start with the better one. It was awesome. Like, It is everything I wanted it to be. The animated short before the movie was fantastic. Because, they always do the small animated shorts before the Pixar movies. Yep. Then they did the Big Hero 6, which is awesome. It's based off a Marvel comic called The Big Hero 6. Surprise. And that is the only basis, really.
It's in name only.
It is pretty much, like, the character names are the same, but it's not even close to what they are. Like, it is a whole nother world.
Okay.
Like, you cannot watch Big Hero 6 and read the comic book and be like, oh, totally nailed it. Not even close. It is not even close. But it was really good. It was fun. It was entertaining. It was funny. I mean, like, it was everything I wanted it to be. Like, I walked away from that pleased. Like, 100% pleased. Well worth the money I didn't pay. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Mockingjay Part 1 left everything to be desired.
Okay.
Like, everything to be desired. Like, I walked out of that theater not aware of why they couldn't fit Part 1 and 2 into it, because I felt like I was there for 5 hours. It was slow. It was boring. It was unimaginative. And there was nothing that made me enjoy that aside from the pizza and beer I had while watching it.
Cinnabar?
Cinnabar.
Yeah. All right.
You know what I mean? Like, definitely the worst of all of them.
Okay.
The first Hunger Games, I was fine on. Second one, I actually enjoyed more than the first one, even though I feel like it was the exact same movie as the first one.
Pretty much.
I liked the fighting in the arena better.
Okay.
So that's why I like the second one more. This one was, like, I can only remember 2 fight scenes, and both of them were less than 4 minutes. Like, it was all just, like, some lame infiltration stuff.
Right.
And as I'm watching it, I'm just like, okay, well, this is what's going to happen. 3, 2, yeah, see, called it. This is what's going to happen. Yep, called it. Like, I didn't say it out loud because I'm not that guy. Like, I'm in a fucking movie theater. Yeah. It's all in my head, you know? Like, at a certain point, I'm eating pepperoni off my pizza. I'm all like, I bet you this is what's going to happen with pita. And, like, an hour later, look at that.
That's what happened with pita.
That's what happened with pita. All right, good call. Good call.
So, I'm going to go see this movie on Thursday. You can see it Thanksgiving morning. So, curious to see... As some, I read the books. I enjoyed the books.
Okay.
I've liked both of the other 2 movies so far. So, kind of curious to see if my take on it is any different than yours. I don't know that it will be, but I will give it a try.
So, I read an article about the 7 big changes from the book to the movie.
Okay.
To me, they didn't seem like that big of changes, so I don't think it's anything that would really impact it, but I'd be curious to see what you thought about the changes and about the movie. But yeah, I was bored most of the time. Like, I wish I could say it's because, like, I was just tired, I was in a bad mood. I went in the movie theater in a super happy mood. Like, when it was done, we got home around 1:30, I still wasn't tired. Like, we watched an episode of TV, like, there was no underlying factors that affected my mood of that movie besides that movie.
Okay.
So, that's that, my friend.
All right.
And you, no TV, no movies?
I watched a couple episodes of Heart of Dixie.
And?
They're good. I mean, I really enjoy the show.
Yeah.
There was nothing exciting like Thanksgiving, but
oh, Thursday's Thanksgiving. Are you going to do anything plank related?
Oh, I totally should.
Oh my! What?
I didn't even think about that.
Come on, man.
I should totally go to my family Thanksgiving dressed as a pirate.
Yar matey. Or at least Jessica will get the joke. At least wake up. Do you wake up before her? I know you wake up before her.
Oh, of course.
Within
wake up, dress like a pirate, and then wake her up and be like, "Yar, it be Thanksgiving."
This is all I'm saying, man. This is just a 2-minute funny thing, and then you can be done with it.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
I should totally do that.
Yes.
So I watched a few episodes of that, and I watched like 2 more episodes of Super Friends, featuring Wendy and Marvin. Marvin was the guy we couldn't think of. He's got a white shirt with a giant M on his chest. I don't know how I forgot that. But there was even an Aquaman-centric episode.
But besides him flying the translucent plane?
The transparent plane.
I'm sorry, the transparent
Not
plane.
the invisible jet, but the transparent plane. Yeah, there was some oceanographer that turned evil, and Aquaman had to call in a whale to sink a submarine. I don't know. It was Aquaman. You don't know what happens there.
You know what's so funny about Aquaman, not to derail this? Like, he will spend 12 issues being so damn boring. And then that 13th issue does something amazing, incredible. You're like, you're the biggest badass in the world. and then another 12 issues of just
Yeah,
boring.
Absolutely. That's
Like
why I
when
dropped that book.
Like when his son got kidnapped.
Yeah.
You're like, the whole story leading up to it, you're like, oh, that's so sad, and I'm bored. Dude just cut off his own hand using his belt buckle to go save his son. You're a badass. Oh, the next entire story arc was sucky.
Right?
So,
you got a hook. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Seriously, though, cut off his own hand.
No, that's pretty badass.
It was hardcore.
Yeah. They had to do something with him. I mean, he was just hanging out with long hair.
Yeah, but then he got his Atlantis hand. Do you remember that?
No, I do. Yeah.
That's a book I would drop. Oh, I did drop Aquaman.
So did I. So speaking of dropping books, you want to move into that?
Yeah, let's go with
All
books
right,
I would
let's do
drop. Okay.
Aquaman. Done it.
Dropped. And they made Aquaman and the others.
Yeah, I don't...
Oh.
If anybody didn't need a spin-off, it was Aquaman.
Damn it. Books I am probably going to drop. There's some that I think I should drop, and I know
you're not going
that
to?
I won't do.
No.
Okay. That I know I won't. Like, X-Force has been bad. I have not enjoyed it. And I want to say here's a redeeming quality that I'm looking forward to. The only redeeming quality so far was in issue 9. Pete Wisdom was in the issue.
Okay.
That is it. And Excalibur. Otherwise, It's been shit, and I don't like it.
Okay.
So why am I keeping it, you say?
Because you have all the other ones.
No.
Oh.
No, it's got nothing to do with my collection.
Okay.
It's got to do with Cable. Freaking love Cable.
Really?
Love Cable. So I fell in love with Cable with the Dwayne Serinsky run, where he
The one with
grabs
Hope.
Baby Hope
Yeah.
and jettisons.
Right. No,
that was an amazing series.
To a point.
Maybe to a point. That whole series rocked.
I think there was this bit towards the middle to second third of it where it was just, oh, Bishop showed up. Let's jump to another planet. Oh, Bishop showed up. Let's jump. It just, every issue was the same. I liked the first half and I liked how it ended, but
see, I like that because all the other planets, not the other planets, the other times that they jumped to, something always weird kind of happened. I kind of enjoyed that. Like the cockroach people.
Yeah.
That was cool. So I fell in love with the relationship between Hope and Cable. As I'm thinking about how to phrase this, I'm just like, God, it sounds so stupid. In X-Force, I'm sorry, right before X-Force ended, Hope got put into Cable after the AVX thing.
Right.
But her consciousness is alive inside a, how do you describe meme? Essentially, consider her mind the cloud.
Oh my God.
But Cable doesn't know that it's her because then he wouldn't let her go into missions until she was fully healed, even though it's just her consciousness. Like, this is a thing. Like, I wish I was making this up. That is currently what's going on, man.
Jesus.
And Psylocke knows, but she's not telling Cable because Hope asked her not to. And, like, it is crap. It is shit.
Yet you're going to keep buying it.
Because Cable and Hope, man. Cable and Hope.
Just go reread the Swarzynski.
I'm pretty sure that's what Obama ran on. Cable and Hope. Was that not?
No, that's about right.
That was it.
At least 80% correct, yeah. So one thing that I'm probably going to drop, I'm currently reading one book from Marvel.
Ooh.
Only one.
And what is it?
Magneto. I have the issue that came out last week. I haven't even picked it up because it took such a shit turn when it had to get tied into Axis.
I know. To be fair, the whole Axis line has been shit.
Right. So I'm like, why am I going to keep buying this book that is very, very tied into the whole Axis event when I don't think it's going to be any better after all that's done?
I enjoyed I liked what it was gearing up towards.
I liked the first 5 issues.
Yep.
Issue 6 was here's a recap of what's happened in the last 5 issues. And then issue 7 was, we're going to go kill Red Skull now.
So, I have 1 or 2 theories on this. My first theory is the editors said you need to make this Axis related.
I completely think that's what it was.
Or, my second one is the same thing I'm afraid of is going to happen with Deathstroke. Dude, I have this awesome idea for Magneto. Oh, what is it? So he's going to go and kind of become like the mutant Punisher and hunt down some people? Yeah, write that fucking book, man. Okay, cool. I finished that story. awesome. What's your next cool story? No, I just had the one.
Right. Yeah. And I don't remember. We were talking about somebody a couple episodes ago, how they've started a couple books that start out really strong with that first story arc, and then they just...
Right.
So, but no, I really believe it was Cullen Bunn had pitched this idea for a Magneto solo series, and he got a couple issues plotted, and they were like, oh, by the way, Onslaught.
Right. Red Skull Onslaught.
Right.
So, Magneto. Okay, I can't talk you out of that one.
No.
Totally understand it. The next one I'm considering dropping is not just one, but two books, but they're tied together. Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon.
I have no reason to say no to that.
So, I love the Cosmic Marvel stuff. I love Nova especially. Love Nova. Love the DNA run. I love DNA's run on Guardians of the Galaxy. I loved Annihilation. I love how they followed up with Annihilators, Thanos Imperative, Realm of Kings, War of Kings. Like, all that's gold to me. Right?
Yeah.
And then the movie came out. And I feel like they've decided, well, how can we milk this?
Right.
And they are milking it. And it is not good.
Okay.
Like how you had just told me, if you love Cable, go read the Cable Fantasy stuff. When people come to the comic store, and I'm happy to be there, and we're talking about Guardians, I don't recommend them the Bendis stuff. I definitely do not recommend Rocket Raccoon or Star-Lord. And everyone's like, oh, I love Rocket. All I see is a book. Don't fucking read it. It's garbage. Read these old trades. That is great. This new stuff, meh. And I don't... Yes, I have this collector's complex where I need full collections of certain things. Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord are so new in titles that I'm not like, man, I've been reading this for 10 years. I can't quit now. Guess what? I've been reading it for 3 months and it's garbage.
Right.
So, blah.
Okay. So that leads me to my next book that I'm thinking about dropping. And I know I've talked about this one here before. But to tie into this, I was looking... I worked a lot this last weekend. And by worked a lot, I mean I was at work a lot. And
I feel like that was a cheap dig.
No. I'm saying that I spent, especially yesterday, I spent a lot of time in the office waiting around not doing anything because I was waiting for other people to take action so I could take action on something. And I found something that I wrote about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, actually. And it was at the end of an event that happened in the Green Lantern universe. I think it was the Relic storyline.
Oh.
And for those of you that have watched the show, you know I'm a big Green Lantern fan. But I wrote this thing out about how nothing important had happened in the Green Lantern books in 2 years.
Yep.
Nothing of any significance.
Totally agree.
All these events would come up and they would end and everything would go back exactly how it was at the end. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm still at that point. So kind of what you were saying where people will come up and say, hey, Cable, and you're like, oh, Straczynski. If somebody was to ask me what's a good Green Lantern book, or what's a good trade to pick up for Green Lantern that would be good, I'd be like, the last good thing you should read is Sinestro War.
Okay.
From, 5 years ago now?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's nothing that I can really recommend that would be really good for somebody to read since then.
Blackest Night was really good.
The problem with Blackest Night is you have to get all the tie-ins to have majority of the story make sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
So if I were to say a pure Green Lantern story, Sinestro.
No, I respect that.
So I'm at the point, and we've both talked about this, where I'm currently getting 5 books in the Green Lantern universe. I'm getting Green Lantern Corps, New Guardians, what's the other one?
So you're in Green Lantern Corps, New Guardians, Red Lanterns,
and Sinestro.
Yeah.
I don't need 5 books to have nothing happen.
I will make you a deal.
Okay.
Because I have faith in what's going on right now. And the reason I have faith in what's going on right now is because Jeff Johns is not at the Green Lantern helm.
Okay.
He started off so strong in Green Lantern. He brought Hal Jordan back because Jeff Johns has a raging hard-on for the Silver Age heroes.
Right.
And he's very honest about it. It's why he brought Barry Allen back after being dead for 25 years.
Right.
It's why he brought Hal Jordan back. It's why he's bringing back the Golden Age heroes. He's got a hard-on for him, and that's fine. But the problem is they've made a universe for the past 20 years with all these new heroes, and he's like, no, I just want this one back. Well, okay, you can't just say I want this one. There's too much going on here.
Right.
There's too much.
Yeah.
So Jeff Johns continually wrote it for 3, 4, 5 years. Like you said, 5 years of shit because he wants just this he wants to relive something from the Silver Age now, and it started off strong and it's not happening anymore. We now have new writers at the helm that are still pretty new. And I kind of take this the same way as I take presidencies. Okay?
Okay.
So Barack Obama is going to be up here shortly. A new president's going to come into office. The new president is going to be able to change everything in 3 months. It's going to take a little
Right.
time to change
Yeah.
things. I honestly believe Godhead is the start of those changes. I
Okay.
really do.
Okay.
Now, with that said, I understand 100% where you're coming from. I get that. So I'm going to make you a deal.
Okay.
Finish out Godhead. Drop Red Lanterns. Drop New Guardians. And I'll even agree to you dropping Sinestro.
See, the Sinestro is the one that I don't want to drop.
I know,
though.
that's why I threw that one in there.
It's a freebie, right?
After Godhead is done, I will pay for your next 6 months of Green Lantern Corps.
It's a deal.
Done.
I can do that.
And then after that point, I'm not paying for it anymore. And at that point, if you're like, I don't even see a change on the horizon, then I will concede.
Okay.
There you go.
Fair enough. All right. So what about you? Anything else you're thinking about throwing on the chopping block?
Yeah. There's a couple other things. Magneto. I'm along with you on Magneto.
Yeah.
I don't care about Access. I don't care about Magneto. I'm actually at the point where I want to drop the Avengers.
Okay.
Not because the Avengers is bad. I will say fully the Avengers has been really good. It's too much.
Okay.
It's huge epic story arc to huge epic story arc to huge epic story arc that I'm starting to get a little confused. I read about 30 titles a month. Add on top of that, I watch about 20 TV shows. Add on top of that, I watch about two movies a week.
Right.
Like, that is a lot of stories
Yeah.
that I have constantly going in my brain. The problem with the Avengers is small things will happen that you need to remember from 6 months ago.
Okay.
Because Hickman does a phenomenal job of laying out beginning to end and everything in between. And he does a really good job with it. Not in single issue, though.
Okay.
I feel like in single issue, I read something. Next month, I read it again. I remember the majority, but not everything. And sometimes the small things are the things you need to remember. So I'm thinking about dropping the Avengers, but he's leaving the book. So
now you're curious what the next...
no.
Okay.
Nope, I'm not going to pick it back up.
Okay.
Like, once he leaves, I think he leaves in like 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
That's it. I'm done. Avengers is done for me.
Okay.
There's one other book oh yeah, Storm.
Oh, I didn't realize you were getting Storm.
You know why you didn't realize I'm getting Storm?
Because you never mention it?
Because I have issues 1 through 5. You know how many of them I've read?
One.
Boom.
None.
Big old goose egg, yo. Big old goose egg.
Nice.
I like the writer on it.
Who's writing it?
Greg Pak.
Okay. Yeah.
And I like his work. But what it's made me realize is, and I do this sometimes, so I'll buy the first few issues, and if I realize it's now on issue 7 and I haven't read it yet at all,
Gone.
not only gone, that's a book clearly I can pick up and trade.
Right.
Now, if I pick it up and trade, I'm saving half price.
Yeah.
So what I'll actually do is take my single issues to the comic store and be like, I will trade you these for the trade.
There you go.
And then they will.
Yeah.
And I'll get the trade paperback, and I'll do it that way.
Right.
So clearly Storm has made it to the trade paperback list.
Okay.
So those were the big ones that I'm really looking forward. I hate to say that. I'm looking forward to not having to read you any longer. A couple of the titles that I are on the fence. Spider-Man's on the fence.
Okay.
Because I'm getting sick of Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
But I'm in the middle of it, so now I'm like,
Gotta finish out the event. Yeah.
Gotta finish the event at least. So Spider-Verse is on the edge there. I'm trying to think. There was one other book.
On the edge of Spider-Verse?
Oh, no. The edge. We're no longer on the edge of the Spider-Verse. We're not in the Spider. I'm going to be rude and look at my phone. There's one.
He's deep in Spider-Verse.
Because there's a book on my pull list that I was going to cancel.
While you do that, I will mention that I am going to drop Batgirl. I haven't actually told you. Shock and awe. I keep forgetting to actually mention that when I'm into the shop. But I can't do this frat girl business anymore.
Nor should you.
No. But the one nice thing about dropping some of these books is it's going to make room for other books. I'm going to be exploring more of the indie books. Because there's nothing else that DC or Marvel is putting out right now that is of any interest to me.
Nothing?
Nothing. I look at the shelves every week when I'm in there. I'm like, none of this really makes me like, I want to read that book.
Okay.
And, it's one of those things I've talked about where, both Marvel and DC are event after event after event after event with the Image titles, the Vertigo titles, the Archaea titles, the IDW titles, all these things. Mm-hmm. You can get books that are contained. And that's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to be exploring more of the indie stuff. I actually picked up, over the weekend, I picked up another book that I don't recall off the top of my head what it is, and I haven't had a chance to read it yet. But I'm moving that way.
No, and look, I want to argue against it because I love the characters in DC and Marvel.
Oh, me too.
I love the characters so much, but I get it. I haven't been loving the stories so much. So I get why you're moving towards the indie. The problem, I think, is the problem I've had before, because I've done this before. I've always been heavy DC.
Right.
And those are my favorite characters. And I love the characters. I just get sick of some of the stories, so I move over to Marvel or indie. And my longing for those characters always brings me back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there are some characters I just miss. I missed when I wasn't getting The Flash. I missed when I wasn't getting Justice League. There's some characters I'm not going to miss when I don't get their books anymore. Star-Lord is going to be one of those characters. Right. I'm not going to miss that book.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not. So yeah, there you have it.
Okay.
Oh, the other one I was thinking about canceling is Wolverine and the X-Men, but it's ending anyways.
There you go.
Yep.
Because it's going to be Spider-Man and the X-Men. What the what? Yeah. So, I think that's probably good for this week.
I think it is. It was a short episode for us because we didn't have a lot to talk about as far as new reviews are concerned. Plus, I mean, I got to go get fatter on turkey. Like, I got priorities, guys.
Yeah. Get all the stuffing or the dressing or what have you.
I cannot wait.
Right?
Like, there is nothing like having your mother's food, let alone your mother's Thanksgiving food.
Sure.
My mom cooks.
No, my mom cooked when I was growing up. I'm just... Other people's Thanksgiving food is good, too. Yeah.
That works, too.
Okay.
All right, guys. Take care. Have a nice holiday.
See you.